Did his explosive interview defending himself against child sex abuse allegations do more harm than good?
You're trying to kill me! You're killing me, man!
Time's Up co-founder Amber Tamblyn hits the table to talk about where the movement needs to go next. Plus, Ricki Lake looks back on the wildest moments of the Ricki Lake Show. And her new documentary that claims medical marijuana is a wonder drug for children battling cancer. Let's fire up Hot Topics with Whoopi, Abby Huntsman, Joy Behar, Sunny Hostin, Meghan McCain, and Anna Navarro. Now, let's get things started.
Whoopi is still out, getting better and better, and will be back at the table soon. Yes, she's getting better. R. Kelly just did an explosive interview with Gayle King to defend himself against a slew of sexual abuse allegations, including some with underage women, and accusations he held women against their will. Watch this.
I think the point you're making is, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you have never held anybody against their will.
I don't need to. Why would I?
Well,
how stupid would it be for R. Kelly, with all I've been through in my way past, to hold somebody? Is this camera on me?
Yes, it's on.
That's stupid. Use your common sense. Robert. I didn't do this stuff. This is not me. I'm fighting for my life. Y'all killing me with this.
So, where's Oprah when you need her? Oh. In this interview, is this interview going to change anybody's minds, or do you think he did harm to himself with this interview?
I think it hurt him. But first of all, kudos to Gayle King. You mentioned Oprah, but what a good job she did, staying so composed. He was so angry.
He's a great journalist.
You're saying he was like kind of a bully in that, and she did not change her demeanor.
And then a victim, if you notice. First he's a bully, then he's crying. It's very big.
You know what I noticed?
And every time he goes like this, there's, you know, and he's punching. You can just imagine what a punch from that man would feel like.
Ooh, you know what got me though is what I found with people that lie, they oftentimes punt the blame on anything but themselves. So any question that, and Gayle asked him a lot of great ones, it was either the parents' fault, it was the fact that other men have far more women than he does. I mean, the list went on and on and on. It was never him taking the blame for anything or the fact that he did anything wrong in this.
Well, all I kept on thinking was, where is his lawyer? And how could his lawyer allow him to do this? I mean, it was just so shocking. You know, lawyers typically in a courtroom never let a defendant testify, you know, because you have the right not to testify against yourself. And that old adage that anything you say can and will be held against you in a court of law, that really is true. I mean, people remember that when Bill Cosby took the deposition, it was held against him in a court of law, and he's now in prison. Does everybody remember the Jerry Sandusky case when Bob Costas gave that interview, and Jerry Sandusky was asked, do you like underage boys? And he was like, I like to be around young people. I mean, that showed up at his trial, and that's all I kept on thinking. It's like, if women get up there, and he has 10 counts of sex abuse against him, if women get up there and testify that he was controlling, that he was angry, that he was aggressive, the prosecutors are going to just put that tape in and say Exhibit A. But, you know, that's what was shocking. Either he went rogue against an attorney's advice, or his attorney should be disbarred.
Well, I remember, Sonny, that he's been to trial before. Remember that he's had allegations like this before in 2008, and he was able to charm his way and spin his way.
He said
and get the sympathy on his side before and beat the case.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think he's doing this interview because he thinks he can do that again. But this is a very different time.
Yeah.
It's
well, this is the Me Too era, and you think that matters and means something.
Yes. There's been a real change.
First of all, like you said, I mean, he married 15-year-old Aaliyah. Remember the 2008 interview with Teray when Teray asked him, are you into teenage girls? And he said, when you say teenage, how old are we talking? This is 2008.
Yes.
Obviously, my opinion on him was changed as well during the documentary. But again, we know who R. Kelly is. Much like Michael Jackson yesterday, I ever since Aaliyah and Teray, I thought he was also a pervert in a lot of different ways. And, you know, the alleged tape that went around, that was happening when I was growing up.
An alleged pervert.
And also, you know, you remember the Chappelle Show joke about it. Like, there were a lot of things about his sexual perversions that were in pop culture. It's just now in the Me Too era, we're looking at it through a different lens. Again, kudos to Gayle King. I mean, I love her anyway, but he was up physically in her space, trying to intimidate her physically as well as yelling.
I know.
I mean, I can't imagine being in that kind of situation. You guys know me. I mean, I probably wouldn't have handled it as
She was
composed.
thoroughly unbothered.
Yes.
Right? She was
Well,
unbothered.
she seems unbothered. That doesn't mean she was.
But you know what? Because you are both lawyers, and so you look at the facts. I'm a very emotional person. I respond based off of emotions and feelings. And if he was hoping to get any sort of sympathy from this interview, I think it did the exact opposite of what he was maybe wanting, because I left there thinking that this guy, first of all, didn't come across well. Something is clearly going on, and also very angry, very angry.
But it's the same people that are bringing girls around him, teenage girls, and hiding up for all his crap for so long are the same people that are allowing him to do this interview. So all the enablers around him. So of course they're like, oh, maybe he'll look good.
There's a thing about him being famous, which we talked about yesterday with Michael. It's the fame part. You know, a lot of these perversion, so-called perversion stories are about famous people.
There was another part of the interview that struck me when Gayle asked him about his desire for younger women and being with one woman, more than one woman, and I think we have that clip.
What kind of father, what kind of mother will sell their daughter to a man?
Who did that?
How come it was okay for me to see them until they wasn't getting no money from it? Why would you take your daughter, if I were going to take my daughter and she's 19 years old to a 49-year-old icon, whatever, celebrity or R. Kelly concert or whoever it is, I'm not going to put her on the stage.
You're saying the parents handed their daughters, Azurel and Jocelyn, over to you? Is that what you're saying to us?
Absolutely.
So he was very clever, though. He uses the number 19 right in there. Like, they're bringing their daughters to me. They're 19-year-old daughters.
And the parents are saying that that is not true. If anybody saw the documentary, the parents are saying that Azurel was 17. They have text messages that say that he was having sex with her when she was 17. And he says also in the interview that the two women are living with him and that they're both his girlfriends at the same time, and that she shouldn't, you know, judge him because he knows a lot of men that have many women at the same time.
The documentary, and if you haven't, I urge you to, because I think there's so many lessons in that documentary about the enabling entourages. But one of the things that touched me deeply was the parents. The parents are chasing these women and trying to get a hold of these women and trying to rescue these women all around the country. They never gave up on their daughters. A lot of this is happening and has been brought to light because those parents had the courage to speak, because his ex-wife had the courage to speak and talk about the things, the horrible things that he allegedly did to her. And so there's a lot of bravery, there's a lot of courage that has come, you know, about in order to get us to where
But you
the
know, the
place he is
common
now.
theme in all of these is what you brought up, Joy, is fame. And fame has this ability to sort of blindside people and make them think it's okay because it's Michael Jackson. You know, if it was some random older age man, you would never let your child sleep in a bed with him, right? But because they are who they are.
Remember the case of Jeffrey Epstein with the 80 underage girls? He wasn't famous. He was just very wealthy with a bunch of enablers.
Well, first of all, it's I think it's the highest streamed and watched documentary on Lifetime of all time. But what bothers me is he sold out a concert after the documentary aired. So there's still people going to his concert, buying his music, and we have to fight back with our pocketbook. As you always say, stop going to this man's concerts, stop supporting someone who has a sex trafficking ring, which is what I believe after that documentary in his house. Allegedly, my producer, I hear you, but I'm sorry if I believe that. I believe that from the documentary that he is a disgusting person.
You have a legal note now.
I do.
Because of me, I'm sorry.
Chicago prosecutors have charged Kelly with 10 counts of aggravated criminal sexual abuse. 3 of the 4 alleged victims were underage when the suspected crimes are said to have happened. Kelly has denied the allegations and has pleaded not guilty. I also want to say that the evidence they say they have is DNA evidence. They say they have the victim's testimony, and they also say they have some of the crimes on video. That's a very strong case.
Ever just go, yeah, I did it, I'm guilty? No, they will deny.
No, rare.
Okay, coming up, do people believe Michael Cohen over Trump? We'll talk about that next. Congress again today, and a new Quinnipiac poll, which is a very respected poll, found that more voters believe Cohen than Trump. So you have 50% believe Cohen, 35% believe Trump, and 15% what? Are in a vegetative state? Where are those? Where is that 15%? But I mean,
they're all last name Trump.
Yeah. So they're both liars. Right. One is a redemptive liar, Cohen. The other one is an unabashed liar who has it in his DNA at this point. Trump, he's incapable of telling the truth.
So it's a low bar between the two, you're saying?
Yeah, but I believe that Cohen was telling the truth. I believed him. Didn't you believe him? Did anybody not believe him?
But here's the, look, they're both liars, and neither of them are, you know, the most particularly ethical human beings. But Cohen has already been caught lying.
Yeah.
In fact, he's going to jail for lying. So if he lies more, he's got something to pay for. He's got something to lose from lying at this point. Whereas Trump does not. Right? Yeah. Trump has gotten away with lying since he was born.
Yes.
The man has lied over 5,000 times as president. He lied about bone spurs. He lied about his records. He lies about his net worth. He cheats at golf. The man is physically incapable of telling the truth. He lies to his wife. I mean,
I liked it how the Republicans were saying, you're a liar to Michael Cohen. He was lying for the liar. Yeah. So didn't they ever put those two things together?
He lied about a lot more than, he worked for many other people than just Trump. And some of the things he was charged for weren't even Trump-related. Another part of this poll that I found interesting, though, was among the same people that they talked to that believe Cohen over Trump, nearly 60% don't think that they believe the president should not be impeached. Yeah. Which I found to be an interesting dynamic.
A lot of Democrats agree with that.
But I think it's something that Democrats should look to. We talked about this yesterday. If their focus is to get him impeached, I think there are a lot of Americans, not even those that support Trump, that will see through that. If they have a specific target they want to focus on and they think that he really did something illegal, then zone in on that. But if your main goal as a House Democrat is to get him impeached, I really don't think that's a winning strategy. And that poll highlights that more than anything.
A lot of Democrats agree with you. Nancy Pelosi agrees with that.
Well, I certainly think that Michael Cohen must have been telling the truth, because if he testifies under oath and perjures himself, then every time he lies, he could get another 5 years in prison.
Right.
And you can test the lie because it's under oath, and you can just test what he's saying under oath against things he said before under oath. So I'm actually surprised that more than 64% don't believe him, because it just it wouldn't make sense for him to lie. It actually doesn't make sense to me that Trump keeps on lying.
35% believe that Trump 50% believe Cohen.
Only 50%?
50%.
I thought you said 64%.
No.
Yeah. He's got a bad reputation, though. I mean, for a good reason. It's not like he's a hero.
It doesn't make much sense. But then, if he had a bad reputation, then why would President Trump hire him and believe him? I thought President Trump hired all the best people.
Because he needed somebody to fix the bad things that he was doing.
Yeah.
And pay
somebody wrote on Facebook, Trump is so unlucky. He's surrounded by criminals.
Yeah.
What a coincidence.
Hires all those people.
Okay. Are we taking a break? We're taking a break? Oh. Okay. Coming up, what made Colton the Bachelor leap over a fence on this week's episode? We're talking about that next. On this week's episode, Cassie, one of his 3 potential brides, told him, it's barely hard. It's so hard for me to even say this. I don't even... I'm still on the list.
Virgin, or?
He's not a virgin. Give me a break. Anyway, she says she's leaving him over doubts about their relationship, and he didn't take it well, okay? Watch.
I can't do this.
I don't care if you're about to leave. I'm not gonna stop fighting for you. I'm done with this.
Colton.
You see, he precisely proved the point of what we've been saying about Trump's wall.
What?
People are gonna jump over it.
Exactly. Trump would have killed for that wall. He would kill for that
looked like
wall.
a big, beautiful wall.
So he's really, I mean, this is just acting as far as I'm concerned, but please elaborate.
No, well, I'm the only one that really religiously watched. I got Megan in it for about an episode, and I lost her.
Abby is the religious
If
one.
you guys watch The Bachelor, first of all, I don't think you could ever jump over that in just like a normal temperament. He was clearly that angry. Your body can do crazy things. But what's so sad about this is I think
there's no way my body could get angry enough to jump over that wall. Okay.
Yeah, I think he was in anger.
Maybe
but he finally found, this Cassie girl finally found the woman who he said, like, I love her.
Yeah.
And it seemed like that was the night he was going to finally lose his virginity, which is we've all been waiting. You guys saw him lighting the candles in the fantasy suite.
I don't know if I can wait much longer.
And so that moment
how much
for him,
longer I can wait.
He's already, he's physically ready, he's emotionally ready, and it was that night, that moment he's waited his whole life for. She comes to him and says, I can't do this anymore.
How old is he?
What can't she do? What can't she do?
She says she has doubts.
About what?
And her dad came, they're in Portugal, her dad came to visit her and said, your parents, your mom, we never had any doubts in our relationship. If you have any doubts at all, just think this through.
She's on a television show. Of course she's going to have doubts.
I know, but there were some real emotions. It's been an emotional week. So many things on television. But that was also one of them.
Love can make you do crazy things, okay?
Yeah.
I'll admit, I have broken Manny's phones and put them on and threw them on a highway. I have, you know, Manny has taken our Christmas tree and thrown it out of the door.
Why did you do that?
Because she decorated it too much.
I decorated it too much, and I said some things. I did take some plates. My grandmother told me never to destroy a man's things, but what you should do is take something that you love and break it so that you can show him that you're really crazy and he shouldn't mess with you. So then
you break your own stuff.
You break your own stuff.
That'll keep him around, Sonny.
So I've done that.
You've been with him 20 years.
Let me show you how crazy I really am.
Yeah.
Why you should want to stay with me.
I'm gonna break my own stuff, and then I've done that. But I don't think that was that crazy.
No, as I'm hearing her, I think, first of all, I think she is crazy. But also, like, I think you need to buy some of those kind of plastic, you know. I think you need to buy some cheap plates just to have around for dramatic purposes.
You gotta break stuff you love.
No, Sonny, no. You can fake it. They won't know the difference between, you know, a plate.
You gotta look real nuts because then that keeps
Today,
them
by
in
the way,
line.
before we go, today Lent starts.
Yes.
And I'm going to give up plastics. We'll be right back.
I love that.
Why does Time's Up co-founder Amber Tamblyn say sexism on the 2016 campaign trail didn't start with Donald Trump? It started with Bernie Sanders. She's live on The View next.